Listen, y'all, good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody's feeling great. I hope everybody's feeling good. But listen, I want to get straight into the message, y'all. Like, I want to get straight into the message because, like, I want you to understand that God take us through certain situations, like certain circumstances, like certain adversity, because like it's not a time for us to complain. It's not a time for us to cry. It's a time for us to learn, right? So I look at the lesson. I look at every situation like, what's the lesson or what's the blessing in this situation? Right? Because we only gonna get the one that we focus on, right? There's a negative and a positive in every situation, but we only get the one we focus on, right? So me, like as a person that's big on personal development, I'm always looking like, what's the lesson or what's the blessing in this situation, right? So I had a little situation, y'all. I had a little situation that, you know what I'm saying, that caused some conflict, right? It causes some conflict. But I was like, you know what, God, like what's the lesson or what's the blessing in this situation, right? And I noticed I did something. In the midst of that conflict, I automatically turned to social media. I started scrolling, like I started distracting myself with social media, right? And I say, like, how many other people are doing the same thing on a daily basis instead of dealing with the problem head on? Instead of taking the problem to the man, to the person that really deserve it, right? You feel me? Right? Some of us it might be music, it might be talking, like talking to people, making that phone call, venting, right? Social media, right? Right. We are constantly distracting ourselves, or when we're going through something, or when we feel that down moment in our life, we instantly turn to social media. We instantly turn to music. We instantly turn to somebody picking up the phone and venting. All of that is cool, but I want you to I'm here to tell you, you should be not like, don't turn your focus to that. Turn your focus to God. Like, I'm just here to tell you, like, turn your focus to God. And listen, y'all, self-awareness is so important because so many of us have not spent enough time with ourselves to even know who we are. You always on social media. You always listen to music. You always constantly distracting yourself from spending time with yourself. And when you spend time with yourself and get in that solitude and talk to God, you'll realize a lot of things. Like, I've been distracting myself for so long, I don't know who I am. And those are the moments for us to grow, y'all. I want you to understand the circumstances and the situation that God is putting you through is not to harm you, it's to help you grow. It's to help you grow. Listen, y'all, the rain helped the plants grow. The rain helped the farmer like grow his crop, like the rain, right? The adversity is rain, y'all. The adversity and the circumstance and the situation you're going through is rain on your dirt. It's there to help you grow. It's there to help, it's there to help that seed that God has want you to cultivate. It's there, right? And so in the crazy part, this verse hit me. The verse came up right on time. I was like, you know what, God, I'm not gonna turn to social media. I'm gonna turn to you. Like, I'm gonna talk to you now. And I opened my Bible up, and the verse was just right there. It was the verse for the day, right? And so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So it's Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. It say, "You are to be holy to me, because I, the Lord, am holy," right? We should be in alignment with God, y'all. We should be on one accord with God. But how many of us are out of our alignment? How many of us are in alignment with social media, though? How many of us are in alignment with gossiping, though? How many of us are in alignment with music? We're constantly distracting ourselves with distractions. And we're not one with God. You're not holy with God. And I want you to understand, when you're holy with God, you're dedicated and you're focused on the purpose of God. You're dedicated and you focus on a purpose, right? But you can't be dedicated and focus on a purpose if you don't spend time with him. Y'all have to get in alignment. Y'all have to talk. Y'all have to communicate. I need you to stop trying to handle situations on your own and take it to God. I need you to do that, y'all. I'm telling you, I had to learn my lesson. Stop trying to handle stuff on your own and take it to God. Stop trying to distract yourself with social media. Distract yourself with God. When you gonna get in that solitude and stick with God? Like, when you gonna take time and talk to God? Right? We started distracting ourselves with music. We started distracting ourselves with other people. I'm not telling you not to vent, but listen, you should be venting with God. Like, that's the person that gonna save you. That's the person that will give you the best answer. That's the person that got the best plan. That's the person that you can talk to, and he can tell you that he got the best advice you gonna get. He got the best advice. It may not always be the thing we want to hear, but see, that's the thing. We got to stop searching for comfortability, and we need to be searching for growth. Sometimes the things that force us to grow might not be the things that feel good. And so many of us, we surrounded by people that steady lie to us and make us feel good, or we always searching for the easier way to do something because we love the comfortability. We love comfort, y'all. And I want to challenge you today to get out your comfort zone. I want to challenge you today to I want to challenge you today to go, get some growth. I want to challenge you today for growth, y'all. Like, I want you to have that discipline, to have that commitment, like to say, you know what? This might not feel good, but is it helpful for me? Is it going to make me grow? And that's the thing I want us to focus on. Growth over comfortability. Faith over fear. Discipline. Like, let's have the discipline. And so let's get into it. Let's get back to it, y'all. We're gonna read it again. You are to be holy, dedicated, y'all. Let's get dedicated on God's purpose. Because I, the Lord, am holy. That means we are on one accord. Like God say, I am holy, so like you should be holy. Right? I'm dedicated to the mission. God, like I'm dedicated to the mission. I'm dedicated to you. Like I'm committed to you. Like I have a covenant with you, but I need for you to get on that covenant. I need for you to get like in your purpose. I need for you to get committed and dedicated to the purpose, y'all. You listen, God say, I need you to be holy because I as the Lord, I am holy. And I have set you apart. I want you to know it's okay. It's okay to be misunderstood. It's okay for your friends not to like you. It's okay for them people to talk about you. Listen, God has set you apart. God has set you apart. And I had to realize that God done set me apart. Everybody's not going to like me. I ain't in the place of pleasing people. I'm in the place of pleasing God and serving the people. And most of us got it backwards. And I had to learn that, y'all. I had to learn that. And I just thank God, like, for everything that I'm going through, every situation. What's the lesson or what's the blessing? That's it. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, God, what you trying to tell me? Or, okay, God, what's the blessing in this situation? Right? And that's how I live my life. That's how I look at things. And so I want you to understand something too. Sometimes, like, situations don't be even as bad. It's all about perspective. It's all about how you look at it, right? You can turn a bad situation into a good if you shift your perspective on how you look at it. Just change your point of view, right? What's the lesson or what's the blessing? Because I know Jeremiah 29:11, before I know the plans I have for you to prosper, not to harm you. I understand that, y'all. Most of you don't understand that. Most of you don't understand that God is not here to harm you. So every situation I know is either a lesson or a blessing in it. Because I understand Jeremiah 29:11. I don't know about you, but I get it. I get it, God. You're not trying to harm me. Like, so what's the lesson or the blessing of this situation? And me, I'm going to be holy with God. I'm going to be dedicated to the mission. I'm going to be dedicated to God. I'm going to be dedicated to my purpose. I'm going to be dedicated to my gift. We got to get on one accord. We got to get in alignment. I have set you apart. I want you to know you have been set apart. I have been set apart. So it's okay. It's okay, y'all. Joseph was set apart. He was set apart. That's why he was chosen. Abraham was set apart. He told Abraham, I need for you to leave your country, your father's household. He had to set him apart. Y'all listen. God has set you apart. Joseph had to separate from his family. He had to go serve them. He had to go do time in prison, right? He had to get sold in slavery. It was meant, because God told you in Leviticus 20:26 that I have set you apart from the nations to be my own. God has set you apart because he wants you to be his own. We should be serving God, y'all. But most of you serving social media, most of you are serving the people most of you are pleasing the people and pleasing social media instead of pleasing God and serving the people. Because God has set you apart. It's okay that you're not fitting in with the world, because God told you, I have set you apart from the nation to be my own. God wants us to be his. We should be worshiping God, y'all. We should be focused on a mission. We should be dedicated on a purpose. But most of us are living backwards. And we wonder why our life is going the way it's going. It's because you're not in alignment. You're not holy like God is holy. You don't understand that God has already set you apart to be his own. You feel me? So now I get it. Okay, I don't care about nobody not liking me. I'm not here to please everybody. I'm not here for that. Right? And I had to understand that. It's okay. It's cool. God has set me apart. You might not understand me because you ain't rocking how I'm rocking. You feel me? You don't speak the way I speak. Me and your spirit on the line. Because like I said, God done set me apart. And I know that God done set me apart. Watch this. God has set you apart from the nations to be my own. So I want you to understand something. I need for you to start becoming more holy with God and focusing more on your mission, focusing more on your purpose, and stop looking at the situation and the circumstance that you're going through as something bad. I need you to like extract two things. What's the lesson or what's the blessing in this situation? Because I know God has set me apart from nations to be here on. And He not set me apart to punish me or to harm me. He set me apart for my growth. So I need for us to change perspective and say, so what's the lesson or what's the blessing in this situation? And then I need you to find your purpose and become dedicated on the purpose. Like that, I need you to get whole. I need you to get on one line. I need you to get on one accord with God. And listen, y'all, doing the right thing don't always feels good. It ain't always pleasant. But these are the things, that's when your discipline kick in. That's why I say being holy, being dedicated to the purpose, being dedicated to the mission, being dedicated to God. I don't know about you, but I'm dedicated. I don't know about you, but I'm dedicated. And I need for you today to get dedicated. I need for you to get dedicated with God. I need for you to get dedicated with your purpose. I need for you and God to get on one alignment, get on one accord. And in the day you ever forget, I need you to go read Leviticus 20:26. Because God wants you to be holy because He's holy. And I really like I'm glad I had that situation and that conflict, because that really helped me to like go search God even more. And this is another thing too, y'all. This is another thing too. When we're going through something, I don't need you. That's not the time to run away from God. That's the time to run to Him even more. Even like when you're going through something, like when you're going through that worst stage in your life, that's not the time to say, no, God, why me? This is the time to praise God even more. This is the time to like connect with God even more. This is the time to be even more solitude, y'all. This is not the time to run from God. This is not the time to run to social media when you're going through the worst time in your life. No, social media can't help you. Those friends can't help you. Man, you need to talk to God. I'm telling y'all, I had to learn that, because my first thing was, all right, I'm going through a little something. Let me just scroll on social media to distract myself. No, I need you to stop that. I need you to stop that. That social media, those are a temporary pleasure. But God, He's going to be here forever. God's the one that's going to heal you for real. God is the one you need to sit down and talk to when you're going through something. That's not the time for you to run away from God. We run away at the wrong time. That should be pressing toward. I'm going to worship God even more. Right? I'm worshiping him even more now that I'm going through something. Why? Because that's the perfect time for me to get closer with God. Okay, God, what are you trying to show me? All right, God, I'm finna go even harder on the mission. Because I understand that God, Jeremiah 29:11, for the plans before I know the plans I have for you, to prosper you and not to harm you. To prosper you. God ain't here to harm you, bro. I just want you to know that God ain't here to harm you. If you can just understand Jeremiah 29:11, you'll understand and look at every situation in your life different. So I want you today to change your perspective on God by looking at your situation different and say, God, what's the lesson and what's the blessing in this situation? And I hope y'all have a great day. Y'all stay blessed. Y'all continue to stay prayed up, keep the faith, and most importantly, I always choose education over entertainment.